Right. So I wanted to have a lovely conversation about Arbetsförmedlingen. Oh my goodness. So now back, I believe it was in the 80s when Arbetsförmedlingen was originally established. Of course, most of the job seekers were native Swedes. There was never any language issues, but it was always mandated that once you got a job offer, it didn't matter where it was, you had to move there and take it, no matter what it was. That was the rule. You sign up for it, you're taking the damn job. Now, from my experience of it from 2015 to now, ooh, stark contrast. Okay, so my first experience in 2015, I essentially went there, asked for help, looking for jobs and things like that. Try to find praktik så jag kan prova min svenska. Men du måste prova om du ska lära flytande svenska. You have to practice if you're ever going to be fluent. Granted, I'm not capable of learning a language fluently, but still. I was willing to try. But sadly, for me, I came here legally. I came here for love, make the babies with the hot blue-eyed men, yeah, that kind of thing. So I was not eligible for these programs that involved learning the language and getting job skills at the same time. I was not eligible for any kind of help whatsoever. So essentially, I went to the Arbetsförmedlingen and they told me that, sure, we can help you write a resume. The thing about that is, my resume is absolutely amazing. I know how to do the Windows program really well, and not Windows, I'm sorry, Microsoft, that kind of thing, really, really well. I can't remember the name of it, but I remembered how to use the program. That was my point. Anyways, it's kick-ass. The header is in red, and it's just gorgeous. The only problem is my resume in itself is unimpressive because of my spotty work history, which I am very regretful about. But either way, all they could offer me was to help me to write a resume and maybe to write a personal letter, which it's not helpful because you can find something like that on the internet. There are many successful professionals who are very kind enough to post the resume that they used in order to get their jobs. There are websites that coach you into all of this. So essentially, Arbetsförmedlingen, there is absolutely no help unless you have funktionshinder, some kind of functional hindrance, some kind of disability, whether it be psychic or physical. So back in 2015, before my lovely domestic violence experience and all that, I was not qualified for any kind of help. And yeah, Arbetsförmedlingen back in 2015, they had offices like everywhere. They had it from Göteborg to Sävedalen to Mellerud. A lot of countryside offices, everything. They at least had the offices. Now, if they were willing to offer you any kind of help, that's up for debate. But now, it's 2020, and they have closed offices. They have closed, I think they said, a minimum of 1/3. I don't remember if it was 2/3. I know that they cut the staffing by 2/3 at least. And they actually have not used their full budget that the government gives them. I think they've only used like 1/3 of the budget that was meant for them. And my last attempt to talk to them and to get some kind of help, that was in Göteborg. I think it was near Järntorget. My pronunciation is horrible, forgive me. Anyways, it was in Järntorget, and essentially I just asked the woman if she could make a recommendation for me, and she just kept repeating, no matter what I asked her, she kept repeating, well, you can look online. Everything you need to know is online. Just go look online. And I just asked her, do you necessarily think that this is helpful, what you're saying to me? And she said, it's not my place to say anything about it. It's just the policy. And I asked her again, and do you think that policy is helpful to people that need to find work? And she just told me, it's not my place to have an opinion. So me, I've been jobless since 2015, and there's this job where you can literally sit on your ass all day and tell people, go check the website. All the information's there. Just go check the website. You know, I can do that. I can do that in Swedish. Du måste kolla på hemsida. Kolla på hemsida. Nej, ingen mer frågor. It's just a check online. Now, why can't I have that kind of job? So we went from the 80s, where you were legally mandated to move from your friends and family and everything to take whatever job you could get. And now we go to, we'll only help you to write a resume, and unless you're an illegal migrant, of course. And then we go to 2020, where they dismantle 2/3 of Arbetsförmedlingen, and all they can say is, kolla på hemsida, check the website. And also they cut the hours. So say, for example, in Trollhättan, they only have 2 hours that they are open. And God forbid you actually try to call them, they literally will hang up on you when you're trying to ask them a question. It's very, very disappointing. Though I will say, back in 2018, I did get some assistance, because I had what we call aktivitetersättning because of funktionsnedsättning, which was mostly due to the severe PTSD and everything. But I'll tell you that even if you do get help from Arbetsförmedlingen, it's very unpleasant, is what I'm going to say. If you do get the help, God forbid you actually have a complaint. You complain once and they pull the rug out from under you and say, we don't think that you're ready to work or anything, because obviously you just can't, because you're complaining. Though my specific complaint was in relation to the employer, the chef, the chief. He got me drunk with colleagues and decided to sexually assault me. You know, I thought, we're all with colleagues, we're all having fun, and he would never do anything to jeopardize his business, but apparently he did. Now, how did Arbetsförmedlingen handle this matter? What they did was they called me socially incompetent and lacking of self-respect, and they implied that I was a slut. Only did they stop repeating this nonsense and try to offer some help afterwards when I showed them the text messages from my boss that were inappropriate. That kind of proved what I was saying was actually true. And also the boss turned off his phone and ran to the other side of the country after I reported him. So essentially Arbetsförmedlingen will take anybody and everybody to offer praktik. They will take any business. So it's essentially slave labor. So even if you do get help from Arbetsförmedlingen, number one, it's slave labor. Number two, there's no real opportunity to actually get a real paying job from it. And number three, it leaves you open to so much abuse, whether it be verbal, physical, or sexual abuse. And if you complain about it, you'd better have so much evidence to back up your claim. And even if you do, they'll still allow the employer to continue taking in practicants. So they're not really helping anybody, and essentially, Arbetsförmedlingen allows employers to exploit people and not pay them. It's just an opportunity to have slave labor. Okay, so essentially, in closing, Arbetsförmedlingen went to being a bit unreasonable, but still functional back in the 80s, to 2015, where it's, oh, we can help you with your resume, and then to 2018, and oh, we don't care if you're sexually assaulted, we still want to work with these people and offer them slave labor, to 2020, where it's just, kolla på hemsidan. Check the website. Everything's there on the website. Don't ask me questions. I have no soul. I have no opinion. Check the website. So the state of Arbetsförmedlingen is a mess. Do not bother going to Arbetsförmedlingen. It is non-functional. You will not find a job unless you have social connections. The only time you get a job here in Sweden, it's mostly due to you having a connection with somebody who knows the boss or another employee. Your best bet is actually just to go hang out, party, and socialize, and constantly nag people about, hey, have you heard of anybody hiring? Yeah, can you hook me up with their number? That is a much better form of trying to find work than contacting Arbetsförmedlingen. They will not give you advice. They will not help you in any way, shape, and form now. They would have helped you with the resume before, but now it's just kolla på hemsidan. So, Sweden is becoming a shithole, and it feels just like the United States. God, I feel like I'm home. Why should I ever leave?